I was a 33-year-old woman named Emma Carter. I worked as a school counselor in a small Michigan town, had been married for 9 years, and lived what most people would describe as a settled life. My husband, Ben Carter, worked in IT from home and was kind, thoughtful, and a bit quiet, maybe too quiet sometimes. We didn't argue. We didn't have drama. But that's not always a good thing. Over time, the silence between us got louder than words ever could. We ate dinner together, watched the occasional show, and then went to bed, back to back. There was no intimacy. No spark. Just routine. Ben noticed it too, though he rarely said anything directly. I think we both just assumed that's how long marriages go. Then one evening, Ben did something I never expected. I had just finished folding laundry when he sat beside me on the couch with a seriousness in his eyes I hadn't seen in years. "Emma, I've been thinking," he started. "About what?" I asked. He took a deep breath and looked straight at me. "About us. About how things feel between us. I know you're not happy. I know I haven't been able to connect with you like before." I was silent for a moment. It was the first honest thing he'd said in a long time. "You're right," I finally said. "It's not working. And I don't know how to fix it." What he said next felt like a punch and a strange kind of relief all at once. "I want to try something," he said. "Something a little different." I narrowed my eyes. "Different how?" He hesitated. "I've been reading about how some couples try things like open conversations, even," he paused, "arranged experiences to help reignite lost connection." I blinked. "Are you saying what I think you're saying?" Ben looked down, clearly embarrassed. "I want you to meet someone. Just once. Someone I choose. I'll be there. Not in a weird way, I just want to understand what you need. I think it could help us." At first, I laughed. Then I cried. It sounded like the most ridiculous and hurtful idea I had ever heard. But at the same time, I couldn't shake the curiosity. And that scared me. A week passed. I thought he would forget. But one evening he handed me a slip of paper with a name and a time. "His name is Ryan. I've spoken with him. He's safe. He knows the boundaries." I didn't know whether to scream or leave, but something in me, a mixture of resentment, hurt, and maybe deep down hope, led me to that meeting. The night arrived. Ryan was a tall, composed man in his late 30s with kind eyes and a gentle voice. He greeted me politely, and we sat in a rented Airbnb where Ben also sat, quietly in the corner, a glass of water in his hand, looking almost more nervous than me. There were no flames, no adult intensity, nothing wild. Just conversation. Connection. Emotion. Ryan asked me how I'd been feeling. I told him things I hadn't even said to my closest friends. I cried when he asked me what I missed about my younger self. I laughed when he talked about how awkward life can be. And somehow, in the calmest, safest way, I felt seen for the first time in years. At one point, Ryan reached for my hand and held it. That was all. But something inside me shattered. Ben saw it. He nodded slowly, understanding something neither of us could ever say aloud. This wasn't about betrayal. It was about release. After that evening, things changed. Ben and I didn't speak much on the way home. But once we got inside, he turned to me and said, "Thank you for trusting me. For trusting us. I didn't realize how much pain you were holding." I nodded. I didn't either. Over the next few weeks, Ben and I talked more. Really talked. About our childhoods. About fear. About loneliness. The walls started to crumble, not because of what happened with Ryan, but because we had finally cracked through the silence. Months later, Ben and I began couples therapy. We weren't trying to fix something broken. We were building something new. Stronger. Truer. And Ryan. We never met again. That moment was never meant to last forever. It was just a mirror held up to a part of myself I'd buried too long. So, yes. The title might sound shocking. But the truth is, the night I spent with the man Ben chose wasn't about infidelity. It was about rediscovering humanity, honesty, and trust, in the most unexpected way. Sometimes, love doesn't look like it does in the movies. Sometimes, it's complicated and painful. But it can still be real. And if you're wondering if Ben and I are still together, yes, we are. More than ever. Because we finally stopped pretending, and started being honest, even if it hurt.